Okay, so welcome to Lawrence Explains Online Academic Tuition. So today I'm just going to post a very short, hopefully efficient video on 3 key points on how to pass the English language exam. So just to give you a little bit of background on myself, I am an academic tutor. That's how I make my living. I specialize in online learning, online tuition. I also have 2 online courses, and I've also written textbooks as well. And I'm probably most specialized, or one of the areas I specialize in, and have had really good results in, is getting students who are kind of not really even passing the exam or had already failed to actually getting them to a point where they go ahead and pass the exam. The importance of that is kind of speaks for itself, really. I'm not going to go into that on this video, but for people who have either failed the exam or who are on that kind of pass-fail borderline, these should be some really useful points. So we're just going to hit 3 core points here. So how to pass the English language exam, 3 core elements. Element number 1, quality of writing. Okay, so what I mean by this is on the exam, on the English language paper, you could theoretically get all of the questions right. You don't make any, bad mistakes in terms of the content, but you can still fail the exam. And how does that work? And you can fail the exam because the quality of your writing simply is not high enough to afford you a pass grade. So the examiner has to feel confident that this student is a pass quality candidate. So I'm just going to put this in here. Pass quality candidate. And obviously, if you're passing through students who just really have very low quality writing, it doesn't speak well for the exam, and you just can't do that. So let's just have a quick look at this little example here. Ben seemed tired at the end of the day. Okay, nothing terrible about that. We've got a pretty atrocious spelling mistake, which was intentional, but we've got a bad spelling mistake in there, and it's pretty basic. So the quality of writing here is kind of average to slightly low because of the spelling mistake. The next sentence here, the passage presents Ben as tired after a long day in the office. This is a much more clear sentence, and we've got a slightly more accurate presentation here. The passage presents Ben. Okay, it's recognizing that Ben is obviously a character in the narrative, and it also gives a reason as well for why he is fatigued as well. So this first sentence here is just kind of saying it as if Ben was maybe even a real person. It's not very clear. Here it's much more clear. We're in this realm of analysing the passage. So this is just one tiny little example, and there's so much more I could go into, and I actually do go into in my textbook and also on my video guide in the core course. It's one of the courses that I have on Teachable, and that really will help you to develop the quality of your writing to a much higher level. Honestly, I could have put this as 1, 2, and 3. Quality of writing, quality of writing, quality of writing. If you get this down and you improve the quality of your writing to a good standard, you've got a much better chance of passing the exam. Far better. So that's the first one there. Next up, comprehension skills. So, this is just very straightforward. People can, just misunderstand the passage. Or their understanding is maybe have like a slightly patchy understanding of the passage that you're faced with in the passage. So there's just a number of things we can do to improve those comprehension skills. Number one, practice reading. You should really have your own kind of reading practice outside of school. And when I ask students who are typically failing the exam what their reading habits are like, most, if they're honest, will say, I don't read outside of school. Okay, I get it, you know, there are other interesting things to do. But the reason that you do want to develop a reading habit is because it gives you that engagement with language. And it's a slow process. It doesn't happen in a day, but over a month, 2 months, 3 months, you begin to build up a much greater sense of language, and the text that you're reading begin to actually filter into your own work. So that's, you know, a very simple thing that you can do. And so I would encourage everyone to get a reading habit of your own. You should be reading, you know, maybe 20 minutes a day, half an hour every couple of days, you know, adding up to around an hour and a half a week, maybe 2 hours, you know, minimum really. If you want to read more, obviously go ahead. In terms of content, I say read anything, and I'm actually pretty serious about that. I don't mind what students read. I don't advocate, you know, if you're not into literary fiction, which most students are not, don't read it. Obviously you have to for your literature exam, but in general, just read stuff you're interested in. Go away, get your science books, get your books on, you know, your sports stars, your film stars, your explorers, whatever it is you're interested in, and just go away and read that and enjoy the process. Okay, enjoy the process. Next tip here is with the passage itself, understanding the passage. And one thing you can do is just quickly just go through and just break the passage into different sections as well. Okay, what's happening in this first section? What's happening in this next section? What's happening in this final section here? That really helps you to get a better feel for what's going on in the passage. And then finally, this is a great trick for both the English language paper and the literature paper, and even the poetry paper as well. Can you summarize the passage in a few words? If you're able to do that, you're going to have and I would even go ahead and, you know, write this on the side of your, you know, of your text. You know, this passage is about, you know, growing up in the Arctic. I don't know why I just thought of that, but that's what this passage is about. Okay, and that's going to provide a focus for the rest of your answers. So it seems like not the most significant thing, but it really provides orientation. It really puts things into a nice perspective. Okay, third one here, understanding the question requirements. So this is where your exam technique comes in. Every single question has specific requirements. Okay, so there is the text on the page, and then there is the subtext as well. And the subtext is, you know, what is really being asked here. So for example, on the language paper, question 1 is always a content question. Okay, you just see the words there and you just try and respond to them. But when I'm looking at that question, I go, okay, this is a content question. That means I don't need to do any analysis. I need to pick out and present the relevant information. That's all I need to do, because this is a content question. And there are different types of questions, and each number offers you a different subtext and a different emphasis on what you need to do. So that was just for question 1. Again, I can't go in on this video to all of the different question types and question requirements, because I'm just giving the 3 top most important things you can do. So this falls into your exam technique. And again, this is something I go into on my courses and in my textbook, going into a little bit more depth on what each of the questions actually requires. I believe this is in the extended section of the text. I'm not sure which. I think it comes towards the end of my textbook. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out, but there definitely is a section on question types. So that's really important as well. So your three big tips here: improve your quality of writing, develop a reading habit, and that should improve your comprehension skills, and then work on your exam technique, understand the question requirements. Okay, so there's obviously other channels on YouTube which offer you some tips and things on these different aspects. You also have my resources as well, so go and check those out. I'll just quickly show you my website as well. Okay, so this is the blog, but let's go to the home study courses over here, and yeah, we have the core and the advanced courses. You can see very, very reasonably priced. You know, if you want to go and check those out, there's more details available, just so you can see what you're getting. But there's loads and loads of video content there. It's very, very focused, and I really wrote the course that I wish I'd had for students when I started in private tuition 12 years ago. And so this is a product of many, many years of refining this process. And if you see my website, see some of the testimonials, we are getting really good results with this now. I mean, we've got this student up here, Billy. He went from a grade 4 to a 7. No, he failed. He got an F in English and he went to a grade 7. So that's a 7 grade improvement. Other students here, getting really high grades, and this is just, really, I mean, this is barely even a cross section. This is just a tiny, tiny fragment of the students who've been through this course. So yeah, there it is. 3 top tips and a few links to my stuff as well if you're interested. Hopefully that was useful for you, and yeah, take it easy. Have a great day. I'm going to stop the share there, and I'll stop the recording as well.